Hello, I hope y'all are doing great. It is September 10th, and today I'm back. Today I'm going to be talking about uh, not a whole lot. Nothing that's really important. There's not like a ton going on right now. Just going to be talking about several different small things. Uh, yep, I hope y'all are doing great. It's a Saturday morning. Um, and let's go ahead and get started. Sorry if I'm kind of quiet. I got to get a new headset. This one's not that. This one's kind of just. I don't know why, but for some reason, like my input's messed up. I really don't know how to fix it, but I might just get a new headset today. Yeah. Uh, right now we're looking at like kind of the personal. What this is Wonder Map is like just showing us like I like this just because there's a lot of personal weather stations on here. So instead of using like airports, because they're pretty scattered. This is pretty nice because this is like one of the largest personal weather station networks. I mean, there's a very large amount of weather stations on here. So like region by region. So right now in like the Southwest, like Los Angeles, we can see low 70s into like upper 60s. Some areas are pretty cold in the mountains. I know we had a very cold night up like near Missoula. I think in Missoula right now, some areas are in the 30s. Some other areas are in the 40s. Uh, over towards like Helena, if I said that right. Could see some 30s. Temperatures below freezing in many areas. On the eastern Montana, Billings, or it's like central Montana, Billings, 30s, 40s, same as similar to Missoula. And then we warm up a little bit as we move into like Minnesota, Wisconsin. Why are there like so little stations showing up? Yeah, so like we can see 50s around the Minneapolis area. Uh, 50s in Wisconsin have a little bit of rain. I don't want radar. I don't like that. Yeah, in the Northeast, it is like New York City area, 70s outside of New York City, then maybe some mid 60s, even some 50s as you go west of town in the PA. Across the like further into the Northeast, we can see some 50s and some more like higher elevations. But yeah, and then in the Southeast, we do have a good bit of precipitation. Rain as you move up here. This area though, the day is going to be kind of like a what we call down here like a wedge day. We don't have cold air damming uh, down into like northern Georgia there. I'm just gonna talk about Georgia for a second because that's where I live. Uh, I want to talk about it a little bit since there's not like a ton to talk about. Yeah, so temperature wise today, we can see many areas. We'll be staying a little on the cooler side as you get in like far northeast Georgia, upstate South Carolina. Areas like Atlanta and Athens expected like middle 70s. Depends kind of how like what happens. So like if you get a little bit more rain than expected, to kind of keep you cooler, maybe low 70s. But some areas in between, maybe like 70s, but lower 70s. Some areas will knock it out of the 60s in like far in maybe like the more like the mountains, western North Carolina as well. Right now it's 67 in this area. That's where I live. That's one of my weather stations. I'm pretty sure it's that one. Uh, yeah, I mean this is pretty cool. This is probably there's just so many weather stations on this. That's what I like about it. It's a lot better than like the like National Weather Service network, like the ASO stations at airports, because they're pretty far and like they're pretty like few. I mean, I mean, some weather stations though are like inaccurate. Like, I mean, you'll like if you go into like an area like Raleigh, for example. I mean, nothing here really stands out to me. I mean, most of these seem good. But I mean, some weather stations will read like 80 degrees, but everywhere else it's like 70. I mean, no, that's probably not accurate, but if that were to if that was were to happen, but not the case in Raleigh. But yeah, looking at let's go back to satellite now. We can see we have two kind of. We can't really see the west right now because it's still dark. Uh, but we can see we have definitely some kind of front moving through that area. Play this out here. Have our storm system across the southeast. Pretty clear across the northeast, or like mainly New England. Southern Plains pretty clear as well. Uh, as well as the northern plains. So yeah, it's current satellite. Severe weather-wise, we're going to talk about this briefly. We have a marginal risk across areas of the southeast today due to that storm system. So looking at the HRRR model, 18Z, we can see we have, forgot I can actually do this quickly. So at 18Z, yeah, we have a little bit of instability kind of stretching, a good bit of instability down in Florida, but a little bit stretching up into like areas of Georgia, South Carolina. Clearly see where we have that like cooler air, more stable air. Uh, and in some areas we do see we have, decent sounding sort of supportive of like a very like localized damaging wind threat. Uh, I really would not expect much though. What is SBC thinking tornadoes and wind? Okay, so SBC does see a tornado threat, as well as down in Florida. We'll take a few soundings down there. It's extremely contaminated. Yeah, there we go. So, I don't see that in the HRRR model, but also we're not looking at exactly every time. Let me go back to reflectivity here. It's like we see several storms across, like even this area over here. We have a little bit of shear. Shear is relatively low. I wouldn't expect like the tornado threat will be very low. In most areas, but it is there. SBC does see a tornado threat though. That's what's important. So gotta stay on the lookout for that. So yeah, that's kind of just a little look at the severe weather. Now looking at the National Hurricane Center, looking at what we actively have going on in the tropics, in the Atlantic, we can see we have Hurricane Earl up there. Maximum sustained winds of 105, 955 millibar lows. So yeah, that's it's definitely large. I mean, if that was placed over the southeast, that'd be like anywhere that's very large tropical storm force wind field. It's expected to kind of weaken into a hurricane by tomorrow morning. 2 a.m. on Sunday, it's supposed to be or not into a hurricane, into a tropical storm. 2 a.m. tomorrow, it's a tropical storm. So it's going to weaken pretty quick according to the National Hurricane Center. Then it kind of maintains that strength and just slowly, like very slowly moves east. It will speed up a little bit though. Wind history, we can just see how big Earl has gotten as it has moved north. Bermuda, they get tropical storm force winds according to this. So yeah, not really affecting much land, definitely, but definitely not. But yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is the next and the last thing I'm going to be talking about is a cold front that we're going to be watching as we go into like early to mid next week. So Monday afternoon, we can see we have a surface low situated up in the Great Lakes, kind of Midwest area. Like cold front that stretches down across the south. You can see dry air coming in behind this, pushing down in the areas like Memphis, Little Rock. And then this passes Tuesday afternoon. We can see dry air across the southeast. We got dews in the 40s and the 50s. To the north, though, in the Great Lakes, so it's still, as that low just kind of spins out. That low is pretty much still there by the time we're seeing like moisture start to surge back into the southeast, and then never like fully goes away. But it does kind of bring dews down into the 50s, though. You can see, dews will be in the 50s for a while across like northern Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. So yeah, that will put the end to some of this very moist air That we see like we have Sunday and the Monday across the southeast. And the northeast does get a good push of dry air mid late next week. So yeah, temperature wise, because this is going to be the big deal. We can see just across the southeast, Monday morning, areas down into the 50s, like Little Rock, Memphis, some areas outside of Memphis, maybe even in western Tennessee, maybe even getting like down to 50, maybe like 48, 49. Uh, See a little bit of a cooler day Monday. Definitely drier, but still pretty warm in the afternoon, like what we frequently see in September. Still some 80s, 70s further east, probably because we have rain. And then Tuesday, we can see that dry air really stretches further east. You can see 50s around Atlanta. The GFS tends to like overdo the like heat bubble for Atlanta there. It always has that. I don't understand why it's so significant. It's not really that significant. Uh, but yeah. Now we can see outside of Atlanta the mid 50s according to the GFS. Still getting up into the 80s, and then Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning, my bad. We can still see many areas in the 50s, a little warmer, but that means it does stay pretty cool at night and pretty cool there in the afternoon as well, due to that dry air for the next several days. After that, like in the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Looking at the European model, we need a little bit of a selection here. Monday morning, we can see a lot more mild across like Little Rock, Memphis. That air just hasn't pushed down yet. I mean, we don't even really get that cool in that area as the GFS has. So the solution verifies more. I mean, most areas in Tennessee will only get down like in that area that I said could get down like 49, 48. Now you'll only get down to 55. So kind of blending those like mid 50s across that area, and then all the way, and we'll see 50s all the way down like southern Mississippi. You can see definitely a lot more mild. I mean, not a lot, but a little bit more mild. We only have like upper 50s across northern Georgia. Wednesday morning, we can see mainly 60s. It stays pretty cool. But yeah, so that's kind of the main stuff that's going to be going on. Nothing that's really significant. Pretty quiet, which is normal for September. Other than the tropics are in the Atlantic still pretty quiet. Oh, but also the Northeast is going to be cool. Look at this. Friday morning we can see 40s for much of the interior Northeast. Down by the coast we can see lower 50s, and like in Boston. Look at the central U.S. though, very warm. But yeah, to wrap up the video, I should be back tomorrow. Hopefully. Yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and goodbye.